Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Mida Maudah. In this video, I want to explain about rhetorical tropes. There are two definitions for tropes. It is another term from a figure of speech. It is also a rhetorical device that produces a shift in the meaning of words, in contrast to a scheme which changes only the shape of a phrase, also called figure of thought. According to some rhetoricians, the four master tropes are metaphor, metonymy, synecdoche, and irony. A trope is a chain of a word or sentence from one sense into another, which is very etymology import, whereas it is the nature of a figure not to change the sense of word but to illustrate. In rhetoric, the master tropes are the four tropes that are regarded by some theorists as the basic rhetorical structure by which we make sense of experience: metaphor, metonymy, synecdoche, and irony. In an appendix to his book A Grammar of Motives, 1945, rhetorician Kenneth Burke equates metaphor with perspective, metonymy with reduction, synecdoche with representation, and irony with dialectic. Burke says that his primary concern with this master trope is not with their purely figurative usage, but with their role in the discovery and description of the truth. In semiotic terms, a metaphor involves one signifier acting as a signifier reverting to a different signifier. In literary terms, a metaphor consists of a literal primary subject or tenor expressed in terms of a figurative secondary subject or vehicle. Richards, 1932. For instance, experience is a good school, but the fees are high. Heinrich Heine. In this case, the primary subject of experience is expressed in terms of the secondary subject of school, typically metaphor. Express an abstraction in terms of a more well-defined model. Okay, next is about metaphor. Metaphor is so widespread that it is often used as an umbrella term, another metaphor to include other figures of speech, which can be technically distinguished from it in its narrower usage. Metonymy is a function which involves using one signifier to stand for another signifier which is directly related to it or closely associated within some way. Metonymies are based on various indexical relationships between signifiers, notably the substitution of effect for cause. The best definition I have found is that metonymy is the evocation of the whole by a connection. Metonymy includes the substitution of evoke for cause, don't get hot under the collar for don't get angry. The definition of synecdoche varies from theorist to the theorist, sometimes markedly. Further to case where one element is physically part of the other, here are some examples. Part 4 wall. I am off to the smoke, London. We need to hire some more hands workers. 2 heads are better than 1. I've got a new set of wheels. The American expression, get your butt over here. Whole part. Example, I was stopped by the law. where the law stands for a police officer, Welsh for the Welsh national rugby team or the market for customers. The next is about irony. Is the most radical of the four main tropes, as with metaphor, the signifier of the ironic sign seems to signify one thing, but we know from another signifier that it actually signifies something very different. Unless the ironic sign is a spoken utterance, when a sarcastic intonation may mark the irony. The marker of its ironic status comes from beyond the literal sign. All of the tropes involve the non-literal substitution of a new signified. For usual one, and comprehension requires a distinction between what is said and what is meant. Ironic thus pose particular difficulties for the literalist stance of structuralists and formalists that meaning is immanent, that it lies within a text. Okay, I think this enough. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.